Welcome to episode 87 of Auto Off Topic. It's been a while since we've been in the studio.
Nobody knows that, though, because we've released an episode every week.
Yeah, but they do know that because the last episode was not in the studio.
That's right, too, actually. We did it while we were working on the car, didn't we? But that was like 2 weeks ago we actually did that, so
Yeah.
now I'm real confused. Did you get any feedback on that?
I did not. At least not through the Facebooks or Instagrams.
Well, I guess that means nobody hated it, because
Yeah.
people always give negative feedback.
That's true. And nobody, I didn't check the email, but nobody likes to email me at autoofftopic@gmail. Anyways, you can email there if you have complaints, comments.
Well, you set the stage for that early on in like episode 2 when we had an email there that just sat and you never looked at it.
No, I
So-
looked at it. I will respond to you if you email me there. Definitely.
I would just save in Google some bandwidth
Yeah.
to save for other people.
All right. Well, whatever. If you don't want to, you don't have to. No big deal. But
We do like hearing from people, so if you do have thoughts, questions, comments, or anything, please reach out to us. We do generally get, a few things per episode, but we didn't get anything about that one when we specifically asked for it, so it's kind of funny.
well, we did that style of episode was recommended, or a couple of people had requested we try something like that. So
yeah.
I liked
It was
it.
based off feedback. I had a fun time doing it because not only was it different, we also killed 2 birds with 1 stone, which is always good in the world of doing things.
We got stuff done.
Yes.
So I think in the future, occasionally we will do that if a project makes sense to do that on.
Yeah, of course.
Because it was pretty easy where we're both at the same level on the top of the engine, and you could stand there and basically talk into the recorder. So that was pretty useful. So I think we'll do that again. That was fun. And I hope you guys liked it. I think the audio sounded pretty good for being just
Honestly, I didn't even listen to it.
an open mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have another open mic audio thing later on this episode, so.
Yeah. So I guess let's get into project car updates.
Sure.
Get right into it.
I think you've got more project car updates than I do, so why don't you start first?
Yeah, because we were a little bit behind
Actually, I'm going to crack my beer here real quick before
in
we
the
start.
episodes. Just crack it. It's fine. What do we have? It's kind of neat.
It's a Lagunitas Sumpin' Easy Ale.
Yeah.
I don't know much about the actual beer, but I bought it totally based on artwork
Yep.
because it shows a rear 3/4 shot of a 66 Chevy Nova Supersport,
It does.
which is one of my all-time favorite cars.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I bought it based on the can, and I'm sure it's delicious because Lagunitas usually is, and they're tall cans. They're 1-pint cans, I think. So I thought it was worth a shot. It's one pint, 3.2 ounces, like 5.7%, so it's not super strong, so that's good. But it's a very attractive can with a very attractive car on it,
Yep.
and decided that that would be best for the podcast because it had a car on it.
Yep.
Also, I'm a sucker for buying things with cool cars on them because I'm just a slave to the machine. I
Yeah,
guess.
and we're getting to the time, so it says
It's a summer ale.
Something ain't easy.
Yeah.
I get down on that. It's pretty cool.
Anyway, I'll take a sip to let you know how it is, but it looks delicious.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. I know what you're trying to do over there. You taking a picture of it?
No, we're live
Oh.
on Instagram.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
I just kind of cuffed the moment I did it.
I didn't know what you were doing.
It's not going to last very long, but
Is
I just
anybody
want to
watching?
do it so we. There's a couple people watching.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. But
Pretty good.
that's the
So
beer.
that's free advertising right there.
That's
for
the beer we're
Lagunitas.
drinking.
Yeah.
There's the mixing board, the recorder. I haven't opened mine yet because I'm drinking this, which it looks like my dog on the can.
Which is
but-
why I bought that one. Another one I bought based
Yeah.
on total packaging.
So, anyway, that's a quick live
Give the
video.
tour of the studio here real quick
Oh,
while
yeah.
we got people on
Yeah,
live
there you go.
Instagram.
So there's all the model cars.
Nope, those are all the diecast and
Diecast,
unfinished cars.
whatever.
Behind you is the stack of model cars that people
Oh, yeah.
will think that you're. Well, now you got to show the stack of model cars before you go
Right
out for a
there.
live video here.
And my dirty basement. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's model cars. A little
So I
dark.
made you show the dirty basement because you didn't tell me to prepare, and I didn't get makeup to do my hair and set up everything else for me. So
Whatever.
anyway,
All right.
we'll talk about that.
That's good for now.
Yeah. Actually, I do like the way one of the other podcasts we listen to has been doing it lately. where
Yeah,
they do
it's pretty fun.
a live feed of it, and you can watch them record it and ask questions live.
Yeah.
But
Well, maybe we'll do that in the future.
anyway, moving on. Project car updates for Andrew. What have you worked on?
I have worked on.
Now that you're all distracted with your phone. Put that phone away, Andrew.
I am. I've worked on the. I fixed the coolant leak in the Subaru I talked about.
Okay.
The it was the coolant line that runs out of the oil cooler, and then in front of the engine, and then back into the thermostat housing. So it's got 3 90-degree angled rubber hoses.
So the oil cooler in that car is coolant cooled, not just air cooled.
No,
It's liquid cooled.
It's liquid to oil. Yeah.
Liquid.
That's most modern cars.
Again,
It's not-
you're talking to me.
Yeah.
I don't have any modern
It's
cars.
interesting. The 90 Eagle Talon has a air to oil cooler. 91 and up and 91 and up Gallants liquid to.
See, that's what
yeah,
I'm used to. Is
liquid
the
to oil
is
cooler.
the air cooler.
So the coolant leak, it had 3 identical 90-degree elbows, and one was coming up and out of the cooler and into a very rusty metal hose, and it basically followed the line of the front crossover exhaust pipe, and it was spraying coolant on the exhaust pipe, which is why I could smell it.
That's why it smells so strongly. It was burning.
But I couldn't really find the leak because it was hitting the exhaust before it hit the ground
okay.
and evaporating. But you'd only find it. I finally found it because it was cold enough. It must have shrunk up and it leaked enough while the car was sitting. I found a drop. So
Okay.
I replaced that.
Well, you've been chasing that since you bought the car, so that's good to get that out of the way.
There was a couple ones. You'd replace one, and then the next weakest link the pressure would get to it. So
Old car life.
it was like coolant, the radiator caps. There was another coolant line, but I did the line feeding into the cooler from the engine block. That was pretty gross. It wasn't too bad to do. Much easier to do because I had it on the lift. And then the filler neck was really rotted, and I swapped that out.
Was that the cause of your check engine light?
No.
Oh.
I didn't replace the shutoff valve that bolts to it, which has a rubber seal, and the edge of where it meets the filler neck was really rusty, and maybe the rubber seal was kind of worn out, and it's not very expensive, and it's pretty easy to change. I just have to take the plastic cover off. So I already have one. I'm going to change that this week, and hopefully that does it. And then I realized, because it suddenly it was suddenly summertime, the air conditioning stopped working. I was like, cool.
Excellent. Which also, in a similar story, stopped working in my truck as well.
Yeah.
So,
But, my dad is an AC expert, so luckily he had he already had the specialized tools, and it's this nifty, sniffer tool.
And find where it's leaking from?
Yeah. So you don't have to, put dye or anything in it. So it was right at the compressor as the low side. It was an O-ring, so popped it off, put an O-ring on,
Good. I'm glad
recharged
it
it. Well, after vacuuming it and all this thing, just needed to recharge, right?
All right. You really technically did need an oil ring to recharge.
Yeah. Well, anytime somebody writes that on a Craigslist ad, it's never just a recharge. That means your AC system should remain indefinitely, in a perfect world, always filled with Freon. It should never leak out.
Never leak.
So if it's leaked out, it means there's something else wrong. It doesn't just get a recharge.
Correct.
And
it's
fix
expensive
itself.
to just charge it and then let it just flow out of there.
Yeah.
Especially in a newer car, because new cars now have that R1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever.
It's crazy expensive.
It's $85 an ounce or something like that.
Yeah.
It's very expensive.
Yeah. It's super environmentally friendly, though, I think, is why.
But I don't think it is.
I don't know. I don't know anything about it too much.
Yeah.
It was just coming out when I was at the Audi dealer. They were just starting to add it to the new Audis. And I knew it was some crazy new expensive machine they had to get.
It's a $15,000 machine.
Yeah, something
It's
crazy.
ridiculous. Yeah.
But the stuff you get in the can and then you recharge it, maybe it's a car you don't care about or something or whatever. That stuff's kind of
Or you just need to make
funky.
it work for a couple of days when it's real hot.
I guess it puts some stuff in there. It might clog. It's just not a good. It's not a good time.
Well, it's like running stop leak in your transmission.
Yeah,
Not
don't
good-
run
not a
stop
good
leak. Don't
plan.
run or like bars stop leak in your radiator or
Yeah.
something. It's just like it's a Band-Aid shit. So
It's a Band-Aid that might clot.
yeah,
So
don't do
that's
it.
no good.
Yeah, that was it on that car. I had the old. My dad was nice enough during the day. He dropped off the old brass radiator for the Glant at the radiator shop,
Okay.
and they tested out. It actually needed to be plugged. There was a hole in it,
Okay.
so they kind of put like a weird.
Stop leak.
No, I'll show it to you. It's like in the middle of it. It doesn't. It's not enough fins to ever affect it, but it is like a big like weld
Okay.
Kind of weird. It's kind of weird, but it's plenty of open radiator left to it.
Negative on the concourse points, though.
Yes. Well, it's original.
Still.
I should just polish. I should polish all the black paint off it and just leave it brass
Yeah.
with that brass age.
Your
Look.
brass age 90 Galant.
Yeah.
90
So
Galant.
it's but it's way thicker than the aftermarket aluminum one I have. That's
Yeah.
just aluminum with plastic.
Which doesn't
tanks.
work very well, as we know, because every time we were in traffic, it started to creep up. In
It did
temperature.
work well when it had a good fan, but since I'm going to replace the fan with a factory fan or factory replacement fan, I might as well put a thicker radiator in there because I'm not concerned with the brass radiator weighs more, but I don't care. Like, it's not a race car. I just need it to run cool when
Right.
it's sitting in traffic. And just having more surface area to get rid of heat is better.
Yeah, I remember when I was driving it up Mount Washington during the hill climb last year, it started getting real hot, and I kept having to pull over and let it cool off so I didn't overheat it.
See, it never did that with the original fan in it when it was working because it's an airflow problem.
So
Not getting enough airflow.
You put the original.
I'm putting the original style fan back in and a thicker radiator.
Okay, so you're
A thicker
fixing
original
possible
radiator.
both problems.
Yeah.
Good.
It should fix both problems because you're going to have more surface area to get rid of heat and
And a
fan,
more effective fan.
a
on
more
top of
effective
that.
fan.
Yeah. So it should be
Yep.
cooler for sure.
Exactly. I'm planning on doing that at some point this week or early next week because it's not that bad.
I don't think we have a lot of plans this weekend of putting cars together, so maybe we can do it then.
There's some other stuff going on though.
Oh.
Family stuff. So
All right.
I also ordered the gasket for the fuel tank for the sending unit.
Okay.
I already have the filler neck for it. I'm gonna swap out the gas tank. It's really not that hard
Oh, the one with the dumb drop sump in
Yeah.
the back for drag racing?
because I already have an A in line to replace the factory fuel hose, and I know it's not rusty and it will all come
Right.
apart. So
And that's like the worst part of the car is you can see that like sump. It's got a modified sumped stock tank in it, and it doesn't look right behind the car. It looks
weird. I don't
cheesy.
like it.
Yeah.
It works perfectly fine. I'm gonna sell the tank to someone.
Yeah. Some people
And
will want it for
they'll
drag
use
racing
it.
or whatever.
Yeah. I'm not gonna let it go cheap. I'm gonna let it go for a pretty good amount of money because it's a perfectly fine tank
Mm-hmm.
and it never leaked for me. So
And it's set up for a certain
yeah,
kind of setup. So you're
Yeah.
building a drag car. It's definitely a nice part for them.
yeah. Or if you need a tank for your Galant VR4 and you can't find one, it will work.
Yeah, it works just fine. It just has a weird drop sump in it.
It's purely cosmetic is why I'm changing it.
Mm-hmm.
I want it to look more stock. So yeah, that's it for my cars.
I haven't worked on anything. So naturally, when I have a ton of projects, I should just go pick up another one.
Why not? I don't know what it is about your energy force that you put out in the world, but people just are like, "Hey, Brad, you want a free car?
You need this.
You like these old cars that are
Yeah.
Colts. You seem
Yeah.
to be a Colt man."
Yeah, well, it's like I'm like a planet with its own gravity around me, attracting old Dodge Colts to myself. It's weird.
Yeah.
So anyway, about a year ago, a '79 Dodge Colt came up on the internet with somebody who wanted it to go to somebody who likes Colts.
I think that's just you.
There's more than just me.
I'm not sure about this anymore.
So about a year ago, I ignored everything about this thing. Like, I saw it. I was like, that's interesting. I'm kind of interested. I don't know. Don't really need it. Gonna leave it alone. Then, next thing I know, I start getting tagged in this post by multiple people saying, hey, Brad, you're the closest to this. You should go get this car, and you should reserve this car. So I still ignored it. Then next thing I knew, I was in like a private message with the owner of the vehicle. And that pretty much cemented the whole deal. And once I heard the story behind the car, I decided that, yes, I should save the car. And I drove to Virginia this weekend with a trailer.
Yep.
Picked the car up. Lynchburg, Virginia, which is pretty deep.
Did you get any Jack Daniels? Or is that
It's
Tennessee?
not. Isn't that not Tennessee?
Oh, Lynchburg, Tennessee?
I think it's Tennessee. Because I think it says Tennessee right in the front of the bottle with big letters.
Sorry, South.
Not Virginia. Anyway.
Hey, listen, it's like when people are like, I'm from Salem. Like Salem, Oregon?
Salem, New Hampshire?
Salem, New Hampshire?
Yeah, exactly. Same thing. So anyway, I got a trailer, hooked up to my truck, went down there. Virginia is beautiful. I don't know if you've been there before, Andrew.
driven through.
Have you been to like the western part of the state?
Been to Virginia Beach, not the western part.
It's gorgeous.
Is it like the Carolina Mountains, like the Smoky Mountains?
Almost exactly. So,
I mean, it is the Appalachians.
yeah, well, where this guy lived in Lynchburg was off of Route 501. And Route 501 might as well be the Dragon because it's just all switchbacks up and down mountains along riversides. Like, I felt like I was back in North Carolina, Tennessee border again.
Oh, it must have been super fun in a pickup truck with a trailer.
Honestly, it kind of was. The thing sticks pretty good for some reason. I drove it probably way too fast.
Yeah.
Because I was having fun sawing the wheel back and forth. Thankfully, I actually... Oh, project car update. I put new tires on the truck before I left.
Okay.
I replaced the rear ones before I went to North Carolina to pick up that Raider a few weeks ago, or a few months ago. But I headed down the front ones, and the front ones were getting even worse and worse and worse. So I said, all right, I got to put tires in this before I drive it to Virginia and back because I want to make it there and back without blowing a tire out. And it was at that point where I was questioning if I was going to make it there and back or not. So at least I had all 4 new tires in the truck now.
Yep.
And with an empty flatbed trailer, it's like it's not even there.
Yeah.
So I was going around the mountain passes pretty hot and heavy for a full-size pickup truck.
And I had fixed the brakes for you, so.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I didn't have to use the brakes much because when you have the trailer tow mode on, it engine brakes very well. So there wasn't a lot of actual
I
braking
wonder how
going
it does that, because diesels technically don't have, like, engine braking.
It's gearing.
Yeah.
It downshifts.
Oh, it uses the transmission.
Yeah, it downshifts.
Yep.
But anyway, so...
Otherwise, you need a Jacobs braking system.
It's a Jake brake, yes. Which is a bit overkill for a pickup truck. But anyway, no, the trip was amazing. The land down there is beautiful. So many gorgeous overlooks, and I had like an hour left in my trip to get there.
Yeah.
It was like a 9 or 10 hour drive total. But I had like an hour left in my trip, and it took me almost 3 hours to that last hour because I kept stopping and like pull-offs and like looking, and it was just, it was absolutely stunning. Anyway, I get down there, see the car. I'm like, yep, I'm definitely taking this home. So, car hasn't moved in quite a few years.
So, all right. What? It's a 79 Colt.
79 Colt.
Two-door.
Two-door. Same car as the blue 78 that we post about all the time.
Okay.
But in like a, I don't want to say it's tan, but it's not white.
It's like a creamy tan.
It's like flesh. It's like a flesh-colored car.
Pale flesh.
Yeah.
Almost like an egg. Like
No, it's like when the Crayola crayon flesh was pretty much this color.
All right. I was gonna say like it's kind of like a brownish egg.
Maybe a little lighter than that.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's kind of a
Ken doll.
It's kind of a terrible color, but that kind of makes it cool.
Yeah.
So it's got that like 70s brown with a black interior. Interior shot. The seats are all torn up. The dash pad's all cracked.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Automatic.
It's not automatic. It's not, the ideal car. Still has the stock hubcaps, stock trim rings.
Got some rust.
It's got a little bit of rust in the rockers. It's not real bad though. It's a pretty serviceable car. It's got dealer installed air conditioning, which is pretty rare. Which I don't
Just
think
needs a recharge.
Yeah, it needs a little more than that. It needs a compressor, which is just a universal compressor because it was
R12.
But you can convert it to 134. But the rest of the system is there. It has the controls in the cabin. It has the condenser. It has like a receiver dryer. It has all the lines. So all the important stuff is there. So it's pretty cool. And I don't know if I'm going to keep that in that car or move that to the blue car. So we'll see what happens. Because I was looking the other day, because we're still talking about 4G63 swapping the blue car eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking at like a hot rod universal AC kit.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like $1,400 bucks.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I could convert this to work or maybe just leave it in this car. Who knows?
I'd probably leave it in that car.
What are we doing with this car?
I don't know. What are you doing with this car?
I don't really know what I'm doing with this car. I had all these plans of grandeur when I was going down to get it. But then I got there and I heard the story.
Yes.
It's a really cool story, and I want to preserve the car because of the story.
Yeah.
And I want this guy to be able to come up here and drive the car.
Okay.
Because it was bought by his late wife when it was 2 years old in 1981. And they've literally dragged this thing all over the country on the back of a U-Haul truck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it hasn't run since '98 or something like that was when it was parked.
Why did it stop running? Do they know?
No, it didn't stop running. They just stopped using it.
Okay, but now it won't start.
I haven't even tried. Nobody's tried to start this thing in a long time because it wound up sitting for like 10 years and it just sat.
So we have to do the traditional
drain the fluids, clean the carburetor,
crank it over by hand a couple times.
Crank it over by hand, pour some gas down the carb, and crank it over again.
Yeah.
So I'm under the impression that it should run and drive. It just needs a going through.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that's the case. If that's not the case, I have an entire drive line for a Colt that's just sitting in my garage, so I'm not worried about it. Regardless, I can get the car running for a cost of probably a battery.
Okay.
So, regardless of what happens, I have enough parts to do it. So that's not even an issue. Originally, I was like, hey, let's make this into like a rally car, but not like a rally car, like a TSD style car, like keep the ground clearance stock. Just make it an event car that we can do TSDs, occasional rallycross, road rallies, road trips, just fun stuff with the car.
Yep.
But now again, I hear the story of the car, and I'm like, I kind of want to preserve this thing as stock because the story of the car is kind of cool.
Yep.
So, Mark, who I got the car from,
yep,
I did do a little interview with him while we were there.
You brought the recorder with you. Yep.
I brought the recorder with me, just so he could get his side of the story of the car. And I think,
which is very cool. I like that you did that.
Yeah, I think we might try to do that whenever we buy a car from now on, especially if there's a good story behind it.
Yeah.
Just because it tells his side of the story. It tells why he's passionate about the car. It tells why he decided to hold on to the car after all these years of not using it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they haven't driven the car daily since I think he said like, I was late 80s, early 90s, when their family outgrew the car, essentially. Mm-hmm. And then they let somebody else use it, and then that person used it to start their business. And now they have a successful business, and they gave the car back to them. And
yeah, that's cool.
The car has a lot of history, and it's a really cool thing to save, and it's a really cool thing to have. Mark's late wife, his name was Kelly.
Yep.
And I don't really name cars. But when I was talking to him down there, I was like, we'll call this car Kelly from now on. So,
okay.
Just as a tribute to the owner of the car who kept it and loved it for so long. But I think we might cut into the interview now so we can hear that, and then we'll come back afterwards.
That's right.
All right.
Here we go.
Brad here solo. No, Andrew. I'm here with Mark. Hi, Mark. How are you? Mark is the former owner of the 79 Colt that I'm in Virginia picking up right now. Car belonged to Mark's wife, and she bought it in 1981.
Correct.
Yeah. Want to introduce yourself? Say your wife's name.
Yeah.
What the deal with the car was? Well, I'd start loading up the car here.
Okay. So, yes, my name's Mark Hemrick. This was my wife's car. As Brad said, she bought it in 1981 as a junior in college, and
So
then
it was 2 years old at the time.
it was
So
2
you've had
years
this thing
old.
almost its whole life.
Almost, yep, we are second owner. So, and so she loved this little car, and so we got married. We drove it in Chapel Hill, then graduate school in East Carolina University, and then we moved to Vermont with it. And it was a great snow car. Even though it was rear-wheel drive, I would put bags of sand in the back of it, and it would just go in the snow.
Which is in surprisingly good shape for a car that lived in Vermont at any point in life.
Yeah, yeah.
Its time down here in the south and Oklahoma helped it a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, as Brett said, after 4 years in Vermont, we moved to Oklahoma for a teaching position that I got there, and which was a great place for it because it doesn't have a lot of power, and Oklahoma is very flat. So it was great to get it up to speed so it could go pretty good after you got it up to speed. No air conditioning, so it was kind of hot.
Well, it is an air conditioned car.
It is.
It just doesn't work.
But the air conditioning stopped working, and we didn't have the money to fix it. So I just would drive it interstate air conditioning.
Yeah, what they call it 255, two windows down, 55 miles an hour.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, in Oklahoma it was a lot faster than that. But that's why it struggled a little bit to keep up with the speed.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, I have another automatic Colt, and it'll do 80.
Oh yeah.
On a good day.
Oh yeah. It would run 80. It would run 80. So we were there for 11 years, and then moved back to the east. Between then, we had another child, and we added a van to our family. So the Dodge kind of got parked for a little while, and then a family of ours was starting a catering business, and so he didn't have a car, so he asked me if he could borrow the Dodge, and I said sure. And so so it was the main car of a catering business for about 2 years.
Quite a history.
Yeah, until they got enough revenue that they could buy a secondhand van, and once they got the van, then they gave that back to us, and so it really sat there, and we contemplated selling it, but then my oldest son had this dream that we would fix it up and that would be his first car, and he was excited until he got older. Then a Dodge two-door Dodge Colt wasn't really
appealing to a 16-year-old.
Appealing to a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
So at that time by that time we had moved back east to Virginia, and so it's basically sat here with my high hopes of fixing it up.
Yep.
And so I realized that I didn't have the time, the patience, or the resources to find all the parts that now are non-existent to order.
Yeah, you gotta know where to
and
find
that's
them.
when I finally just reached out, found you guys on Facebook.
Yep,
on
the Dodge Colt Owners
yep,
Group, which there is
yep.
one, surprisingly.
Joined,
It's not just me, guys.
yeah, so I
promise.
joined that and posted, that I really wanted somebody to take this and fix it up and honor my wife, who passed away from cancer almost 6 years ago. And I guess that's the biggest reason I had held on to it, hoping I might fix it up in her honor. But then Brad answered my post, and I was thrilled that he wanted not just to take it for just parts, but to actually fix it up. And
Well, I gotta
and
tell you,
so-
I really tried not to respond because the last thing I needed was another car. Because as listeners know, I have way too many Colts already.
yeah,
But at the prodding of others in the group,
yeah,
they
Yeah.
said that, no, Brad, you're the closest. You need this thing. Go
Yeah.
save it. Don't let it get junked.
yeah.
So here I am.
And that's why I was so thrilled when they all started responding that you were the one
Yeah.
to really fix it up and make it what I wanted it to be.
I'm at least the one to take it home, put it in the garage for a little while, and worry about it in the future. But
Yeah, well, as long as it's got a future, that's what I'm.
yeah,
so,
no, it will.
That's why I'm so excited.
Andrew and I have the plan. Like I said, told you earlier.
Yeah.
We do a lot of TSD road rallies and stuff like that. We want to make this like an event car, just something that's a nice, reliable driver that we can use in all the SCCA TSD rallies. So this could be kind of fun for that.
That's cool.
So yeah,
That's cool.
Should be good.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too, and I'll be sure to send you pictures and videos, everything as you go along.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm excited to see its restoration.
A sympathetic restoration.
Yeah.
It won't be a 100-point, concourse winning car, but
Oh no.
it'll be cleaned up, nice driver.
Yeah.
So that's the plan with it.
Yeah.
As I have that 78 as well, and that will be the hot rod, and this will kind of be the, lovingly driven and not overdone car.
Gingerly
Yeah.
worked on.
Well, not
car.
gingerly driven.
Not gingerly driven,
They're
but
fun to drive fast.
yeah. Well, yeah, that's true.
As fast as you can in this car. Like
It's
this.
like once you get it up to speed.
Good back road cars.
Yeah.
They're real fun little handling cars. So no, I'm very excited to get it home, get it worked on, and I thank you for giving me 5 minutes of your time to talk about
Sure.
it. And absolutely, is there anything that you want to, anything you like to plug, work stuff, anything you want people to? Is there a cancer research thing that you like to donate to in your wife's honor? If not, then
Not really.
Okay.
The cancer center here in Virginia was really fantastic.
okay.
But-
What was the name of the
but
cancer
we
center
really-
down here?
Allen
Okay.
Pearson Cancer Center here in Lynchburg, Virginia.
Okay.
And
excellent.
we just ran out of options. I think that's the biggest thing for cancer research is finding more options.
Yep.
That after a while you run out of the drugs that are effective.
Yeah.
The most effective drug for her treatment, she was allergic to it.
Oh.
It gave the most positive results, but then she
Couldn't handle the.
couldn't handle
Yeah.
it. She became allergic to it.
Oh, that's
So,
unfortunate. And what was your
but-
wife's name?
Kelly.
Kelly. Excellent.
Yeah. So, but God brings these things into your lives to get you to realize that we're really vulnerable. This life is not the end, and it's a temporary time.
Appreciate
for
the
us.
time we have.
Yeah, exactly. Cherish every day.
Yep.
We she got to see our kids. We have 4 kids,
Yep.
so she got to see most of them grow up.
I met your daughter tonight, who was the same age as my
yeah,
daughter, and was
exactly.
making fun of you the same way my daughter makes fun of me. So
Yeah.
that was felt right at home.
Exactly, exactly. So I have 2 older boys and then two younger girls, and yeah, it's you cherish every moment because you never know when it's going to be the end.
That's why I like working on old cars, because it keeps me happy.
Exactly. Do your passion.
Yep.
Do your passion.
Well, excellent, Mark. Thank you for talking to me.
Yeah.
And we'll stop this recording now and finish loading the car up and let you get back to your day.
I need to get you the title.
We'll get there for sure. Absolutely. Wouldn't be the first time I drove off without one. Get so excited about buying something, getting something,
Yeah.
and then you're like, oh, I forgot all the paperwork. Or in my case, the ratchet straps.
Or yeah, that's
Yeah.
okay.
So, all right. Well, again, thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Well, that was the experience with Mark in Virginia. I'm going to do my best to do right by him and keep the car's story alive, keep the car's history going, and make it so that he and his kids can come up and drive it.
Now, would you just leave it automatic? Would you 5-speed swap it, or just
You
probably
know,
leave it as is?
I think I'm just going to leave it as is.
Okay.
Now, I don't want to disappoint anybody who we talked to before about making a little hot
Yeah.
rod out of it, but I have a little hot rod Colt, and this one here is just, I just kind of want to preserve the character of the car as the car was, and it's not going to be a race car, doesn't need a manual transmission. I think we can just drive it.
To be fair, it's likely that you will be given another free one at some point.
Listen, that doesn't matter. It's not the value of the car
No.
that matters, it's the value of the story behind the car.
Right. That's what I mean. You're probably going to get another one.
I'm sure at some point.
So,
When I think about Colts in general, I have 4 Colts now.
okay. You have 3 rear-wheel drive, right?
3 rear-wheel drive, 1 front-wheel drive. My total investment in purchasing these Colts is less than $3,000
Okay.
for 4 cars. So
Oh, boy.
they're not. It's particularly valuable.
You are lousy with Colts.
I'm lousy with a lot of things. Colts is one of them. Yeah. I'm lousy with Colts as in I have too many of them, and I'm lousy with Colts as in none of them run except for one. So I'm pretty lousy with Colts in general, I guess, at the moment.
All right.
Actually, to be fair, the brown Colt does run, and the 74 Colt, again, it's a very similar story. Well, not a similar story, but a hard luck story with that car. Just it sat for so long, and I haven't even attempted to get it running yet. So, which actually we should work on this year too.
That one's going to be a custom cruiser, though.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah,
There's
like
plans for that one.
mild, very mild.
Yeah, but
not a hot rod,
no.
like a
Like a Moon Eyes kind of style
Kinda, sorta.
cruiser.
Yeah.
No, it should be that.
deep dish 4-spoke Kragers,
Yeah, absolutely.
window blinds in the rear.
Little
Yeah.
Mexican blanket on the back seat.
Yeah, cover up the tattered seat.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll just be a. Anyway,
California style.
yeah, Southern California style. I don't want to ruin that car either because technically that's 10,000-mile original car.
No.
I'm terrible with ideas.
Did you?
I love these things too much to cut them up. I want to build like the coolest, biggest hot rod ever, but I also don't want to cut anything up. It's a horrible place to be in,
if anything, the blue car is the one that needs to be a hot rod.
and it's on its way.
Yeah. But anyway, getting back to the 79 you picked up, did you put any pictures of it on our Instagram yet?
I don't think I put them on our Instagram. I put them on my personal Instagram, TSISS350.
All right.
But I will put some tonight or tomorrow
Okay,
on the
put some
Auto
up.
Off Topic page.
And did I notice that it was missing a beltline molding? Is that what?
No,
I felt like it was.
it's missing a door molding
Oh, okay.
on both
Sorry,
sides.
door molding.
It's missing the most important things the car is missing is
forget
door molding on both sides.
Yeah.
Belt line is the base of the window.
Yep.
Where that molding is there. Door molding on both sides. Driver's side window is not in the car,
Okay.
and the rear right taillight is shattered.
But you said he had a taillight.
Car came with a taillight, so that's good. Actually, the taillight was broken when they were pushing the car onto a trailer
Okay.
from Oklahoma back to Virginia.
Do you have the glass for it?
I don't have the glass for it, but Rock Auto has the glass for it.
Really?
They do, oddly enough. And if Rock Auto doesn't have the glass for it, there's a few on eBay for like $80, so I'm not worried about it. So I'll have to order the glass,
What, did it get broken out?
So the car was sitting in his driveway for
Yeah.
an extended period of time, and his neighbor was cutting down a tree. And when they were cutting down the tree, something flung out of the tree and right into the side window of the car and shattered the glass. So the window's there. It's just in 100,000 pieces in the floor
Yeah.
and the seat.
Yeah.
So, But which is funny because my '78 Colt, the blue Colt, which is the same body style, also came to me, if you remember, minus the driver's glass.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, that was the first thing I did for the car.
Really?
I bought the car in California, and then before the car even got there, I had glass waiting for it. So
Oh, weird.
that was the first thing I did with the car. The day I got the car, I put glass in it in the driveway.
Oh, I didn't remember that at all.
Yep,
So that thing got shipped across the country with no glass in the window?
I did.
Jesus.
And this '79 got shipped with me from Virginia to Massachusetts in a pouring rainstorm the whole way with no glass in the window.
Oh.
But the interior is roached anyway, so I wasn't worried about it.
Oh, all
The
right.
first thing I'm going to do with that car this weekend, actually, is I'm going to pull the entire interior out of it.
Okay.
Just so I can see how bad the floor is, and I can get, all the glass out of it and start cleaning it up. And if it does have any rust problems in the floor, I can take care of patching up little holes and go from there.
My dad was telling me one time he had a celebrity wagon as a company car, and he was mowing the lawn, and he had the driver's side window down, and the lawnmower threw a rock through the driver's side window.
And out the passenger side?
Out the passenger side window that was up.
Awesome.
Shattered that side.
It's amazing. What are the chances of that happening going straight to the car? Not
Yeah.
very good.
It probably would have gone through both.
Probably not. I'm sure the first one would have slowed it down enough. But regardless, that's still crazy. So yeah, so it doesn't need that part particularly. I mean, that's the short list of obvious things the car needs. The door moldings it doesn't really need because they're aftermarket.
Yeah.
They just stick on, so I can just take the rest of them off.
Oh, good. They didn't. That's good.
They
There's no
weren't drilled in.
Oh,
No.
yeah. Whew.
No.
I'd just take them off then, because that really cleans up the side of those cars.
Yep.
They
Yeah,
look
it looks
good
a lot better without them.
Yeah, they have these nice like slab sides that look good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the car it's got nice curves to it. Actually,
How's the
too.
paint?
Not only slab. Paint's it's faded.
Be buffed out.
I'll try to buff it. We'll see what happens. It has some rust spots in weird places. Like the middle of the hood, there's a rust spot. Middle of the trunk is a rust spot. There's one dent in the roof. But I'll clean it as best I can. I'll make it presentable. It'll be a fun little car to.
Just buff it out and put a new interior in it.
Yeah, that's pretty much the plan.
Put some like
First plan.
thin white walls on it,
Anywhere
or like red
there's-
lines.
I don't think they make red lines in that size.
14s?
They're 13s.
Oh, 13s?
And they're
they
really
gotta-
skinny.
They gotta like Coker Tire has to.
Oh, that's a lot of money.
Little red lines on that.
White lines would be
How
fine.
can they be that expensive? They're 13s, even if they're Coker tires.
Because they're Coker tires. Have you
No.
bought tires from Coker Tire?
No.
They're very expensive.
It can't be that expensive.
They're very expensive. Anyway, regardless, I want to get running first before I worry about all that stuff. So, we'll see what happens.
There's 5 moving parts to it, so
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you get a water pump and 4 pistons. That's about it. You're not too far off. So, and it rolled, so that was encouraging.
yeah.
I was afraid it was going to be all locked up. It was sitting there with the e-brake on. I released the e-brake, put it neutral, and I pushed the car out of the driveway.
Yeah, flush all the brake fluid, drain the transmission, fill it up with fresh stuff, everything. Do all the fluids, coolant, everything.
Mm-hmm.
See if it fires up.
Yeah. No,
clean,
I don't.
clean the gas out.
Yeah, I don't know why it wouldn't. And if it does, then we'll have a running driving car by Sunday. And if it doesn't, then we'll move on from there. So, there were a lot of mud wasp nests that were in it.
Mud wasps.
Like they build their nests out of like mud and dirt.
Ew.
Yeah, they were big, like softball sized nests. They were dormant. They were dead.
Totally mean things.
Yeah, yeah, they were dead. So we
Just
took those
bringing
out.
invasive species back here.
No, I knocked all those things out of the car and I wiped all the evidence of them being in there out of the car as best I could while I was down there. So I don't think I did, but what happens when a car sits for so long? It
Yeah,
attracts
yeah.
mice. It attracts bugs. It attracts all kinds of things. Spiders. Ugh. That's it.
Oh,
I
let's
don't
get
want
spiders.
I don't want it
Done.
anymore.
Done.
Time to get rid of it.
No.
But
Get rid of
anyway,
it.
so yeah, no, I'm stoked. We'll get it running, get it going, drive it around, invite him and any of his family up to drive it. I'm sure his sons will want to drive it, and his daughters, and anybody that remembers his wife Kelly will want to drive the Colt that we're calling Kelly.
Cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
fun story.
You do anything else?
No, went to a cruise night tonight. First one of the year.
Was it busy? I mean, it got the weather was kind of
So at 4 o'clock this afternoon, when I was at work, it was
beautiful.
80 degrees and sunny.
We had the weather shift.
By
Now
the
we're talking
time
about the weather again.
by the time it got to like 5:15, it was high 50s and the fog was rolling in like crazy.
Yeah.
So there were probably still 150-ish cars at the cruise night, which for those who don't have cruise nights in your area, they're kind of like a weekday nighttime cars and coffee.
I think everybody has a cruise night. In
Yeah,
their area.
probably.
Cruise nights are the original.
It's like the OG cars and coffee.
It is.
Yeah, but there's no coffee because it's at nighttime. So there's like doo-wop music. It's like cars and doo-wop.
Yeah, because
Which actually, the DJ at this year's cruise nights is
have they moved to the classic rock era?
he's more. So the DJ is 33 years old, 34 years old.
Because my personal theory is that classic rock is the least offensive music genre that exists. You can just play classic
no,
rock,
you're right.
and everybody's
Everybody's like, all right, whatever.
okay with it.
Either they don't like it, they're just like, whatever, this is fine.
Yeah.
But it's not classic rock. So it's Little Jimmy Stack of Records. It's Jimmy Reese, is a kid that we grew up with.
Yeah.
He does a lot of car events in the area now.
Okay.
He drives this like 66 or 67 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. I put a picture of it on our Instagram today.
Yeah.
On airbags with wide white walls and deep dish Steelies.
All right.
And he fills that cavernous trunk with all his DJ equipment.
So two speakers and a laptop.
He's got a bunch of stuff. Okay. I mean, he spins some discs and stuff because he's an old school, into the whole old school aesthetic of things.
All right.
But anyway, really cool dude. Known him forever. He's a couple years younger than me. He's about your age, actually. And he plays a lot more stuff from the 50s and 60s, but not the doo-wop that you're used to hearing at a car show.
But the cool stuff.
He'll play cool stuff. He'll play like rockabilly stuff, and he'll play blues stuff, and he'll play just more. I don't want to call it underground because it wasn't underground, but he doesn't play top 40 1962. He plays cool stuff, So it's a lot more. I don't know the names of artists because I don't know artists back then.
Yeah.
But he'll also play some modern, like Reverend Horton Heat, and he'll play, not modern anymore, 80s like Stray Cats, and he'll play stuff that's more. It's still suited to a car show, but it's not the same 25 songs over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So he brings old music to the modern era, and he does a really good job of it, and he's not obnoxious, and he's a great DJ. So he's now the DJ at our Wednesday night car shows here.
All right.
Which is great.
Now, I think we tried to do. I kind of would like to do if anybody's local to us and they want to meet up on Wednesday nights. This would be a good place to meet up.
At the car show.
Because it already exists.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Make our own little corner of the car show.
yeah,
The auto off topic corner of the Wednesday night car show.
yeah, that'd be pretty
I
fun.
like it. I like it.
I think that's something we're going to look into.
So speaking of which, actually, Jimmy the DJ, I talked to him tonight about being a guest and talking about his DJ stuff and explaining better his music selection and talking about his bagged out Cadillac.
Probably has a great DJ voice,
He certainly does.
much better than ours.
He certainly does, and he does the whole show too because he does. There's a big hot rod show down in New Jersey every year, and he is the DJ there now.
Oh,
And he wears like the whole suit, and he has like the whole like aesthetic from the 50s going on. So he's got the whole thing going. He's a pretty cool guy.
I still
He's
want
a
to get to
character.
some local hot rod shows, traditional hot rod shows.
We missed one last weekend. The Kingpin season opener was last weekend, which is a great show because they have, again, rockabilly bands playing live and
Yeah.
all the traditional hot rods out there.
Yep.
But we will be going, hopefully, this year to Wildwood, to New Jersey. And actually, tomorrow night, are we going to go to the hot rod show in Boston? No. Okay, never mind. If you got nothing going on tomorrow night or tonight, the day you listen to this, Thursday night, the museum opening for...
No, it's tickets are sold out.
are they sold out?
Yeah.
Is that why we're not going?
Yeah, I'm going to cut this part out.
All right. Don't cut it out. Leave it in there. But the exhibit this year, then, at the Museum of Transportation at Lars Anderson,
Officially opening Thursday night is
officially opening Thursday
looking
night.
East
The
Coast
traditional
hot
hot rods of the East Coast from the 50s.
So you can go visit Lars Anderson
after Thursday.
after Thursday. You'll miss the opener, but you can go visit it and look at the exhibit.
If I can get tickets tomorrow, do you want to go tomorrow night?
I will go.
All right.
If you
I'll
can
see
get
what I can
tickets.
do.
I forgot to get tickets, unfortunately. That's why I don't have tickets.
You thought about today.
I meant to tell you earlier not to
Before
talk
I
about
brought it up? Yeah.
but that's okay. It happens.
We turned the corner. We made it okay. I'll work on getting some tickets for tomorrow night.
All right, then we can talk about that. But I think that's pretty much. Oh, the only other things I did was I cleaned all the cars
Excellent.
because we had a couple nice days.
I mean, that's an important thing to do in spring in New England. You got to get the wintertime storage doldrums and
Yeah.
grossness off of them.
Well, I wanted to get a fresh coat of wax in Stephanie's car so it stays nice. And then I took the gallant out, washed it. Wasn't that dirty, but I washed it because it was been sitting.
Get the dust
Polished
grime off
it.
of
I used this stuff, Voodoo Polish 3-in-1. It's like a polisher, sealer, whatever, blah, 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 cleaner, sealer. Came out pretty good. I think it still needs a coat of wax over it, though.
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
I'm way out of the loop when it comes to the
It's
modern,
so I can-
the modern car care products.
I can throw a coat of wax in the car so quickly it doesn't matter. I'll probably do it at some point soon. But the car looks really good right now. And then the same
Nice.
thing I did, I actually polished and waxed the WRX because it needed a polish to get some stains in the clear coat.
stains and swirl marks and rainwater and bird
And just
poop
from
stains.
driving all winter, like the wax had just worn off. And then I just washed the Montero. I don't wax it because the paint is already
There's no paint left
there's
to wax.
there's no clear coat left. Yeah.
It wouldn't do very well.
No.
Although I do like the fact that our friends at Adventure Driven Design posted a picture of your Montero off-road, just so we all know that it's capable of driving off-road.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That was when Josh owned it. He off-road it many a
Right.
time. So it will go off-road. I just haven't gotten to
I mean,
it
it's
yet.
off-road right now. It is in the pile of rocks next to your house.
Yeah. The gravel part of my driveway.
It's in the gravel part of the driveway where I also park the lowered Colt, though, so it's not exactly a challenging portion of the driveway.
I mean, there's a lot of things falling off the tree there. That drive me crazy.
Yes, the yellow pollen, these things.
I cleaned that like 2 days ago,
Yeah, it's a mess.
and then it came back. So it does that for like 2 weeks, and then it's gone for the whole rest of the
And
summer.
it's just sap.
No, there's no sap.
Oh, okay, that's good.
It's a pain in the ass, though. I hate it. I want to cut that tree down. So anyway, anything else?
I don't think so.
Yeah. So that's a pretty good episode, I think.
Yeah, stay tuned for some updates with the new Colt. I'll put them on both the Auto Off Topic page and my page.
Yep.
So,
And as always, you can follow us on Auto Off Topic Podcast on Facebook, Auto Off Topic on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram, Erased in Anger. You can email us at autoofftopic@gmail.com. I do check it, I swear. And you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher. We are on Radio Public. Rate and review us on your favorite podcast app. Helps us out. And Brad, where can they find you?
they can find me on my personal Instagram of TSISS350 and all the other Auto Off Topic places that you already mentioned.
Yep. And keep your cars analog and aim for the roses.